Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Alrighty. Where is Kaz? Yes, Kaz is here tonight. Just give me a minute and let me, there it is. Man, these things keep hiding all the details, man.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
And I'm Orlando.
And I'm Kaz.
And this is Late Night Right. And today we are going to be continuing on the hero's
Right.
journey in the complex thriller script.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a lot of fun, and we plan on having a bunch more working.
Hmm.
Alrighty. I'm sorry. I'm just checking on our setup here.
Hmm.
Make sure we're all good
Yep.
online,
Hmm.
and it's all there. Yep, we're doing great. And of course, I got to share that. So last weekend, without Kaz here, it was kind of weird because I had nobody sitting there going back and forth with on the different characters we were playing with. Because there were four of them, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm out of practice too. Pain. I don't know if I can talk
Yeah, I
properly.
can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, but my throat, the minute I start
Oh, of course.
getting on
As
here.
soon as you get going, it gives you a hard time, eh?
Mm. So, yes, I was missing last week because I was in Malaysia having to do my silly border or visa run, and I'm back in Vietnam, which I'm really happy, on the beaches, pool upstairs, shops, everything you could possibly want, with fruit on one side, lobster on the other, seafood, cheap, and I'm back here, and I'm talking while Orlando gets the stuff up, and then we'll just wing into our stuff.
Well, see,
Meanwhile,
the nice thing is though is that you are back in Vietnam.
I'm very happy. Yes, happy to be. Yes. Um, I feel like I'm at home because everything one would need is there. And I said, beachside, can you imagine? Look out the window and see the beach and the everything, I work out the other side, I can see all the local colour vibe, palm trees and shops, food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it's completely different place, and of course it's summertime there.
It's always summer, yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a season like wet season and dry, and with after November, like that season, like which is your winter, and it's still
Yeah.
in the northern hemisphere. So we're almost on the border, but a little above it. Sorry, border, equator, which means that's always hot, 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 and
Yes.
yeah. So you don't need a lot of clothes, just walk around for summer. It's really
Mm-hmm.
good.
Well, yeah,
Travel
yeah.
light,
That
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Mm, yes, it really does.
Alrighty, let's get that out of the way. Let's get this over here.
Yeah. Orlando's still setting up. Just give me the nod when you're done, because I can talk. And we all know that.
Well,
I don't know how good it is because it's usually rubbish that I speak of, that I do speak of, you know. But yeah, if you're just joining us, we're screenwriters primarily, but we do have our business done, and as in all filmmaking strands, you know.
hmm
And yeah, and now we're doing this podcasting because we just want to, because do something different. That's what we do. We keep
well,
pushing
yeah, we're
things.
always about trying new stuff. That includes with
Yeah,
screenwriting. That includes with whether we're book writing or doing whatever
the
we're doing.
books we haven't even touched on yet, which was
hmm
going to
hmm
be, but hey, we're
Well, it's like
flexible.
the three
That's
scripts
what
I
we
had
do.
that are now going into books, right?
Yeah, I am
And then I'm going
doing,
to be
yeah,
doing the audio read for them too.
yeah.
So that'll be
And I'm
fun.
writing books too. Well, we're
Yeah.
both doing similar things because we're branching out, correct? Would you say that? I think so.
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say branching out.
Uh,
We're
how
expanding.
about,
We're expanding
hmm
in the entertainment area where we have, not necessarily
that's
branching out
correct,
because we're
yeah.
still working with our materials,
Mm-hmm.
our own
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and
Yeah,
and utilizing different formats and layouts for them.
yeah, yeah, I like that. Utilizing is correct. But
Mhm.
we're broadening our scope, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Because we aren't going away from our scripts
That's true.
at
We're
all.
still
We're
doing
just
that. Yeah.
modifying what
Mm.
we already have.
We're modifying ourselves.
Well, except
I
for,
did that.
well, of course, except for the script that we're writing right now online
Yeah,
here,
you're right. Yep.
where
Hmm.
everybody can see how it's done, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, other scripts that I'm working on with other companies. So,
Mm.
you don't
Yeah.
ever you when you're a writer, you don't stop thinking. You just keep going.
Mm. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, Kaz, is I'm gonna take us back to page 23 because you weren't here last week.
That's what we, yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So, um, prior to being in the house, I mean, Sean had come home from work and then he took out, their tent
Yeah.
and backpacks and stuff like this and leaned them up against
Yeah.
the garage, all that. You saw that, right?
Hmm.
And now we're inside the house and Tanya has come in and, you know, everybody's awake. It's unusual
Yeah.
this early in the morning,
Yeah. Hmm.
especially the two boys, right?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
she's noticed the tent and backpacks outside, and now they're gonna figure out what it is that
Hmm.
Sean's up to here.
Yeah. Mm.
That kind of thing. So right now, for how it's set up, as far as they know, all four of them
Hmm.
plan to go. Right?
All
They have
right.
the equipment for four
Yeah.
people.
That's right. That's what we need. Them moving into a different section.
You know,
And if
and then
that
they
means
got
anything,
into
but yeah.
literally talking back and forth across the table
Hmm.
over the map on where and how they're gonna find Michael.
Hmm.
Because they have to have
Yeah.
a place, a route, whatever. And of course, they bring up the um, town security would have told us if he had got poached or headhunted from another company,
Mm-hmm.
and there was none of that. So um, that means the town has no idea where he is. So I mean,
Mm.
even inquiry
Yeah.
wouldn't get them anywhere.
Hmm. That's right. I'm just going to get up so I can
Mhm.
read what
Mhm.
you're doing. Sorry. You too.
And of course, like Tanya says, they'll never give you leave to, you know, in other words, he doesn't plan on asking.
Mm. Yeah.
And of course, little Logan, still feeling like somehow some of this is his fault, is like, yeah,
Mm.
can I come? But he's still
Yeah.
got that guilty look on his face, like, if I'm told no, that means it's my fault.
Mm.
You know how kids think, eh?
Yeah. You're right. You. That's right. Wonder why that's not coming up. I'll go to
And of course, the
YouTube.
question is, where
Your
are we
name
going?
is not. Where am I in? Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, where,
It's
how,
got great. YouTube.
and then now where they're setting up on page 26 here is they've got to narrow it down so that
Mm-hmm.
they have an actual route that they're going to follow.
Yeah.
Plus the fact of the gear that they're going to need. They're listing it off, of course, cooking gear, sleeping bags, food.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not working. Come up with this stupid
Hmm.
Google.
And then, of course, Sean sends them all off to go, everybody check all your own personal gear. Your
Mm-hmm.
footwear, your boots, hiking gear.
Yeah, right.
And
Put the
Tanya's
fiddly
off
thing
to.
down.
Oh, okay. And Tanya's off
Sorry
doing
about that.
her, going to get the, travel rations type of thing.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, so where we left it is that Tanya shoos them off while she heads for the cupboards.
Yeah. Okay.
So where do we want to take it from here?
That's a good question. All right. 23, right? Is what you're going to go to. 23. Get rid of that.
Okay. See on the outline, this is page
I
2.
don't have that up,
Okay.
but I
Well, anyway,
can.
it's on page 2 of
Yeah.
13
Page 2.
of 13. Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah.
No.
Well, because we put it in there very roughly.
Yeah, because you've
Anyway,
already got that far in. Yeah.
you know,
I'm trying not
because I
to.
mean, we wrote it here. After work, Sean says, "How would we do it?" And they start to
Mm-hmm.
plan until Tanya goes to work. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we've already got like 4 pages of that plan before she goes to
Mm.
work tonight,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, since Michael obviously is not in town, and then it's like, okay, how to us for us to get out of town?
Yeah, how to get out of town. Yeah. And
So maybe
then,
that
go. Sorry.
maybe that's where we should be going with this now. Like, before we go nuts and do all this packing, first we got to go know how we're going to get out of town.
Mm.
If you think that would
Yeah.
help.
Mm-hmm. How to get out of town? By
Mm-hmm.
vehicle. We
Well, no,
okay.
because everything is
Um,
barricaded, everything gets checked, right? Every road out of town is blocked.
okay.
So I'm guessing we would be exterior Sean's house.
Last camp. Now they're going to be camping. I'm just scrolling through it now.
Okay,
Um.
that'll be morning. So
Mm,
I mean, we can have Sean and Tanya out there
mm, yeah.
setting stuff up. What do we need? What do we not need? And then it's like, no. First, we got to know how we're gonna get out of here first.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
they have packed
They
or
know how to
packing,
pack
right?
for a trip. They know how to pack for a trip.
Oh,
But
I thought.
before they
Oh,
pack for the
okay.
trip, they need to know how they're going to get out of town and how long the trip is going to be.
Mm,
Right?
I just thought they'd just get in the car and go.
No.
But getting through the what is it? The limit? It's 40-mile limit, correct?
No. Every road out of town is blocked. They have to sneak out of town.
Ah, they got to get around or through this blockade.
Yes.
Now, yeah, yes, yeah.
Alrighty.
Now I get it. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Um,
It's cool.
they
Um.
have to devise a way to do so, to do that. All right. So,
Okay. Well, I'll set them up outside in the yard. These two, while you're thinking on that.
mhm. Okay. Right. Dirty. Wait a second. I'm going to open it. Get.
Okay, so
Right
what they're gonna
there.
do is they're gonna go out. They're gonna dig into the backpacks, and Tanya will
Mm,
throw stuff aside. Well, no, that's too small. That's crap.
yeah.
Whatever, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
they'll talk about what they're gonna
Mm.
do at the same time that they're you know yanking everything out of these packs.
To get around the blockade, you probably need a diversion, I suppose. That's one way. I don't know of any other right now. Look, if they did that, what would they create?
Well, we already had it set up. What we need to talk about is um, their plan, not
That's
not
good.
not the
Yeah.
physical
Okay.
doing, because there is no. They have to know which way they're going first, right?
Mm. Right.
Because it makes no sense, just to. And then they go out by whatever road is the closest, or
Mm-hmm.
through somebody's yard. Remember, we wrote a bunch of that stuff in there,
To what? Sorry, I missed that.
where they were going in along somebody's yard.
Yeah. Okay.
hmm but I have some notes on here yet from yesterday, last weekend. Okay, Matthew has to phone work because he's got to phone in sick to not go to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And of course, he's using
For
his
sure.
mom's phone because his died,
Mm-hmm.
right? That kind of thing.
That's right. Kind of that rings a bell. Yeah.
And then, of course, that'll be something that frustrates Tanya later after
Mm.
they're gone.
Nah, that's right. That's when that
Right.
guy comes. Her ex. I'm just catching up. I do have the outline up, and I'm going through it now, scrolling slowly and reading, which you cannot see what I'm doing. Michael's doing, I'm guessing he's doing excellent. Yeah. That's what you're asking. You're actually reading it when you say, "How would we do it?"
That's exactly right.
I thought you were tapping into your brain, but you're actually reading from a page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's
right.
part
Got
of
it.
our
Got it. Got
outline.
it. I was going, yeah. All right, I'm with you. So you're
Okay, so here
actually,
we got.
yeah, figure it out.
So now we have Sean and Tanya. They're outside. They're digging into the backpacks, pulling stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Tanya's like, "Oh, that's too small." Tanya pulls out a bunch of stuff. And they're like,
Yeah,
"Gee, didn't anybody clean these out last time?"
yeah. Um, I was just thinking, how good this outline is. You would need an outline. Okay. I recommend this. Oh God, I'm being stupid now. Okay. Um, yeah, then you'll get one on the way to work. Sean finishes this before. Are you? I'm not even going to ask that question. Goes to bed. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I did here is, Tana pulled out a bunch more stuff. Geez, didn't anyone clean these out last time? Sean says last
Mm-hmm.
time was before all this, and he's,
Mm-hmm.
waving his hand around at, you know, all the surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, some of that stuff should fit Logan now.
Yeah. It's good that we're getting to the action part
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mm, first of it. Yeah. Done the thinking business, and now they have to act on the information, intel they got from the company.
So we're gonna have Sean stops and thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Sean stops and thinks. Tanya notices and stands up, and Sean says, "We need to know where we're going before we can pack."
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
And why they
I think
choose the route or the route they take. Yeah, I get that. Okay, okay. So they talk about it. Let's talk about it.
alrighty. How about if no, we're not gonna have Sean say shut the phone off.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have Sean gestures. Okay. So Sean gestures like he's cutting off the head, like cut, 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 shut off the phone. Matthew glares at
Mm-hmm.
him, and Sean raises
Yeah.
an eyebrow, and we'll just. Matthew shuts off his phone.
Mm. Yep.
Okay, and then we're gonna have Sean grab it on his way inside. Hmm. So curious, Tanya comes over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thoughtful. Tanya puts a
Mm-hmm.
finger up to forestall any
Okay.
more talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that gets us to that point,
Mm-hmm.
which means. See, this means that Matthew dug his phone out of
Mm.
where they had it sealed, so no signal could get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which means, of course, Sean is putting it right back in there.
Yeah.
In other words, get used to it, boy, because you ain't bringing it with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So, do do we want to take this back inside,
Mm-hmm.
or do we want to run it over? Um, because we could actually take it over to Michael, or
Mm-hmm.
we could take it into. Hang on a second here.
So where? What was that last bit?
See, Michael's work. We could take it to Michael's
Yeah,
work,
right.
or
Mm.
we could see, um, like the start of conversations between Michael and a couple of the people from the office,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. We could do that
Uh-huh.
in that
Sorry,
kind
I'm
of
just reading
thing.
the outline as you talk. I can-
So, because
Uh,
which
uh,
it all depends on which way we want to run it from here, because we could take it back inside, right, and have Sean basically tell him this is what you're gonna say, and call Logan over as well. Like both of you, you're gonna use Mom's phone. You're gonna Logan, you're gonna tell him your phone is broken and you won't have one for another week. Oh, well, there went Kaz for a moment. Well, we'll see if she can come back. Alrighty. So I guess yeah, we might as well take this back inside. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. So, Sean, of course, calls Logan. He also calls Matthew. And Tanya wants to know what the heck are you up to? And when Logan runs down the hallway into the kitchen, and Matthew, of course, being irritated, being an older teenager, lets the door slam behind him. And Sean said, Logan, you're going to use your mom's phone, tell your friends your phone died. Of course, Sean is going to ask, when do you work next? Okay, so we're gonna have Matthew and Tanya talking over each other, and all wanting Sean's attention, but Sean's standing there thinking. Hmm. Okay, so Sean goes to the map on the table. Something twigs on him, drawing him to one side of town, one area outside of town. Pardon me. Boy, this thing is just weird. Alrighty. Okay. Ah, there you are. She's back.
Yeah, I was timed out and in and all around the thing.
Okay. 1 second.
Uh-huh. Well, I just went to YouTube and I saw that you don't have the screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on, I've got an echo. Wait a sec. I have an echo.
Okay. Yeah, it's telling me that you have Riverside open in other tabs.
See if this works. Okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I killed the echo. Right here. All right. Um, you don't have your screen up for people to see what you're writing.
Oh, I didn't share screen. Alright.
Hmm. I went to YouTube to see, not to see that, but that's what I noticed. Um, yeah,
Mm, there we go. Sorry,
yes,
everybody. Here
the
I've been
share
typing
screen.
away, just going right along, having
I
some fun,
know.
and yeah, it wasn't even up.
There you go.
Oh well. The other thing is, I think I kind of got it figured how to run this.
Mm.
Is I put them back in the house again.
Okay. Yes.
Mm, because I had Matthew come up and out and say, "Mom, I have to work." You know,
Mm.
he has
Yep.
to go to
That's
work
right.
tomorrow. She's got to go to work tonight, but she's still trying to figure out what Sean's up to. So she's going in to figure out what's doing,
Mm.
right?
Yep. Yes.
Of course, he calls Logan and Matthew both,
Mm-hmm.
and then he tells Logan, "You're gonna use your mom's phone and tell your friends your phone died."
That's right.
Right? And then he
That's
says,
right.
"Matt." Sean gestures him over. "When do you work
Mm-hmm.
next?" "Tomorrow afternoon."
Yeah.
And Sean says, "I have the strangest feeling we have to be out of here tonight." And Tanya says, "I work tonight." Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, Matthew and Tanya start talking over each other, like, yeah, as families do, right? Bickering. And while Sean's thinking, and then finally he just says, "Both of you in the shh,
Mm-hmm.
quiet, just a minute." He goes to the
Yeah.
map on the table. something twigs. Like there's something, you know, on a certain area of the
Mm-hmm.
countryside where he's sitting there going, yeah, and he says, you remember those plans Mike showed us? Tanya comes over, that wacky subterranean growing thing.
Yeah, like
Sean
that.
smiles at her.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Has he said anything about them building it?
Yeah.
And Tanya just
Yeah.
kind of, well, might have. Not like I was paying attention, right? Sean
Mm.
glances at Matthew. Matthew shrugs. But Logan is standing there thoughtful. And he's going, Dad? And he's like, yeah, Logan. Logan nods his head. I think they did.
Okay. Yeah.
And, of course, Sean's going to ask him, well, how do you know that?
Mm.
And Logan says they didn't plant anything that needs picking in the fall. So he knows because he works and he helps them working, on their yard and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they didn't plant much at all. And of course, Sean is going to grin. And he goes back to the map.
Mm.
And he says, here. I know they built property out. They bought property out here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Sean says, here. I know they brought property out here before all this crap happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that way, so at least they have an idea of which way they're going.
Yes.
And it's got to be a good 30 or 40 miles outside of town.
That's correct. And that's right. It has to go beyond that. Yeah.
Like she comes and she checks and she uses the you know the kilometer marker that they have on all maps. This much
Mm-hmm.
space is that many kilometers.
Mm. Yeah. Trying to,
And so that's a good 40 clicks.
I like this section, getting into the rhythm of the action.
And Matthew says if you go by the roads.
Mm.
And
Mm.
which we can't do.
Yes, you go cross country, couldn't they? Go round the border, the road block. I know. They haven't built a fence around the town, have they? Or have they?
Tanya says, as the crow flies, that's going to
Mm.
be a tough slog. Okay, so basically, Matthew wants to know if they have, do we have a set time? And she says, this isn't an online game. There is no set time limit to complete your mission.
Mm. Yeah.
How do we want to set this up with Tanya here? And with the, to set it up for her to volunteer to stay.
Set up for what?
For Tanya to volunteer to stay.
Yeah. Ah, okay. She has to make it. She needs to stay and not go with them.
Right.
Because she is going to kind of try to make it look normal. So she'll be telling them that, or does somebody tell her that? That's easy,
And well,
I
that
suppose.
that's the point exactly where we are here. How do we want to
Yeah,
set that up?
yeah. Maybe Sean says the husband says, come with us, for safe, come with us. Or she says he's surprised when she doesn't go, and then he says, looks at her and she just replies, um, saying, "Well, somebody's got to look, like give you more time to get out of town or to go, and I'll try to look normal so they won't miss you."
Yes, but how do we get to that subject?
Oh, that's what I think they all packed up, and then they're heading for the car, assuming she's going to come with them,
No, no,
and
no,
then
no, because she's gonna have her uniform on to go to work.
well, she could take it off, but yeah, all right.
Because she's gonna drop them
And
on her
you're
way to
not
work.
changed. How about Sean says to her, "You're not changed," and that would prompt, um, you
No, it's
know,
got to be her idea. I think it's got to be her idea.
well, it is her idea. If they are going, and she stands still in the uniform, she's saying, "I'm staying," without all the words, I suppose, or you could if you want. But
Mm,
she has to
good point.
explain to them why I'm not going. I've decided to stay here to cover, that allows you time. I just thought that would be a good way of doing it without a lot of. It's a yeah, whatever. It's a camera shot, I guess.
Okay.
Um,
So we've got because we're
that's
still in
one
the
way of doing it.
but we're still in the morning time here.
Oh, so they're not ready to go yet.
They're not ready to go
I
yet. They're not ready to go until
Right.
tonight.
So now she has to say that
So
she's not
what I
going.
did is I put her that she leans back on the counter. We can let
Okay.
we can Sean can sit there and plan. Okay, Matt, what you're going to use? I'm going to phone your work, and I'm going to tell them you're sick.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, do it that way. I'm sorry, I cannot read the small screen, but
Okay.
so I'm trying to bluff my way through that
Mm-hmm.
very badly. Yes. So anyway, yeah, that's good. Yes. Some deep planning rather than running for the hills. Okay.
There we go. There we go. Let's see how this works. Okay, John says, okay, Matt, I'm going to call your work and tell them you're sick.
Hmm.
And Tanya's head comes around, looking at the table, right? And
Hmm.
Matthew is saying, well, how is that going to help? They'll just phone back again.
Hmm.
And Tanya says, and again.
Okay. Okay.
And that would be when she decides, I can't go.
Yeah, yeah. That'll work. I mean, that was the plan. Yeah. Okay.
Matthew says, what? Yeah. And Sean says,
Yeah.
no way.
What? Yeah. That. What? What? Are you mad, woman? Are you mad?
And Logan
No,
says,
you
but
gotta be
Mom.
safe. Yeah. No, I gotta go to work. My
And Tanya's like,
ex-boyfriend's coming to meet me. No. Okay. Stop being silly. I'll try. It's a very difficult thing for me. Not You'd be stupid. Oh well,
And
that's
so
life.
Tanya says, no, someone has to
Mm.
be here to deflect.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that works.
You know, it's like, yeah, Matt's work is going to call again. Logan's friends are going
Mm-hmm.
to keep calling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell me if you hear this. It's really hot here, and I'm just turning on the aircon. If it's a nuisance, I will turn it off. No problem.
No, I don't hear
I,
anything.
yeah, it's pretty quiet here for me, but everything's quiet for me here. But I'm hot. Yeah, I just felt kind of like a bit of this and a bit of that. Once upon a time, there was, there
And yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, Matt's work is going to
was,
call again. Logan's friends will all be calling back on my phone.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Sean says you're right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
3 to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so Sean says, yeah, okay, you're right. Okay, 3 to go. Let's get the packs ready. Sean puts a hand lovingly on Tanya's cheek. Go get some sleep. We'll jump out before you get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. So it's supposed to be Tanya? It's supposed to be Sean. Alrighty. So, right. So Sean puts a hand lovingly on Tanya's cheek. Sean says, "Go get some sleep. We'll jump out before you get to work." And Tanya
Mm-hmm.
grabs his hand and says, you two, get your gear packed. You need sleep too." She walks Sean by the hand out of the kitchen.
Okay.
In other words, it's called, "Alrighty, we're working." You can't be trucking long distance cross
Mm.
country if you don't get sleep.
Mm. Yeah. Right.
And of course, the boys slam the door on their way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On their way out to grab the backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. So the next scene we have with them, it'll be basically them throwing the gear in the back of the car.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Tanya will be ready for work, all this other good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it will be like, 8 o'clock at night. 8 or 9.
Mm.
So, yeah, it is summertime, so yeah, 8 o'clock at
Mm.
night, it's not dark yet.
Mm.
So, maybe we should put her on a later shift.
Mm. Okay.
you know. But that, my friends, we'll have to
Mm.
wait until next week because
Mm.
we're already more than an hour in here. But the
Yeah,
beauty is,
that
we
was.
did get this laid out where we needed to go and set up for what the next scene is going to be. So it doesn't
Yes,
matter
right.
if we put other scenes in between. We can put a Michael scene in there. We can put one of the we can put the old couples scene in there. There's all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things we could slide in there for what's happening at the rest of that daytime. But once night falls,
Mm-hmm.
then we see them get into gear, right? So I
Okay.
think that'll work out pretty darn good.
Mm. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Alrighty. So
Sorry, I couldn't see the screen properly and the
oh,
dropout and all of that.
yeah, but see,
So,
we have this set up for podcast as well. So I mean, we have to actually be talking it and saying what it is we're doing anyway. So it's
mm,
good. It works that way for all the way around.
mm, yeah, it's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to put up with me,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
which is not that bad.
Mm-hmm. And I think that'll be it for tonight. But
Mm,
it would be fun if people would go and actually check out
mm-hmm,
where our work is at v/I dot pictures on YouTube, which is the on YouTube or .com, which is the website,
mm-hmm,
and you'll actually be able to see the kind of some of the work that we do because they're listed up there on the website for VI
mm,
pictures.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm,
Yep,
yep.
yep. Yeah, considering I'm the script editor there.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I think Kaz and I know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Oh God.
Mhm.
Yes, I do miss my own. With all my big screen and all of that,
Mhm.
the mic and the studio type affair at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm adventuring around the world to see what I can see.
Well, yeah. So are you on laptop or are you on phone?
I'm on laptop,
Oh
yeah.
well,
It's
that's at
kind
least
of
better than the micro of the phone.
oh, it's fine. It's just yeah, a lot better than that. Because we tried that, remember, in the other place. Anyway,
Mhm.
what I was just saying, why I can't see it, I'm only seeing a tiny little bit at my end. I'm receiving on my screen just a very small bit of the script, and I cannot because it's so small. I cannot read it,
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and that's why I sound a bit loopy
Well,
because I've got a
yeah,
yeah,
because you're not quite up to date on it. But
yeah.
I will be sending this updated script to you so that you can actually go through it from beginning to end.
Oh,
Then you know
yeah,
where it all stands. Because you have
that's
the
right.
same outline I have, and you'll be able to. That
I
way,
do.
you'll know what's coming next.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yep, yep.
I'm just trying to read and keep up with what we're actually saying in real time now,
That's right.
or you
Yeah,
know,
building the
on
scenes.
on
Yes.
on podcast. Other than that, we don't have a problem. It's
No,
just that the
no, no.
screen is so tiny.
I
If
know.
anybody's got a laptop that
Well,
had the same problem as me.
yeah, well, that's
Mm,
the bonus of me having, a desktop here, where and
mm,
I'm working on the physical script itself.
mm.
I'm not working on the screen there. I'm working on the actual script
That's right.
as
Yes,
we go. So at least I
exactly.
have it at full size.
Mm. Hey, everything works. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of fidgety stuff to do. Other than that, we're good. And
Yeah.
we get together through the week and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely do that this week, so we can get
I
caught
we
up
will
here
because we
on
caught
everything
up. Yeah,
that's setting up.
yeah, we
And
will.
on that note, be sure
And
to
that
like, share, hey, forward it if you know people. You know, follow. We would love to hear from people, and well, we'd like to answer questions too when people have questions on how to fix this or do that in their scripts.
mm,
We'd be happy to help.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that would be great if people did that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if they would come to us about from their work. It'd be great. I'd like that.
Yeah, it would. It would be great. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we could have a whole heck of a lot more fun that way,
I
because
know,
we would
yeah.
we're likely to have more than one way you could go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
Yes,
just
yes.
depends on what genre you're working in.
Yes,
That
what
makes a
genre?
huge difference. I mean, setting
But we
something up
still
for
have the same. Mm,
yeah, but setting something
sorry.
up for a horror is a whole heck of a lot different than it is for a
Mm,
sci-fi, or a
that's
thriller or a supernatural. The
mm,
same question means different things in all these different genres
mm, mm,
because they all have different tropes that are natural to those genres.
mm, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. All in the fun of it, isn't it?
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
that's all part of the
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. You're
Alrighty,
never too
so
old to learn either. It's just if you change genres, you have to adapt to whatever the difference is.
yeah, as
But
long as hey,
we kind of incorporate a bit of something into ours, like maybe a little comedy, but not always. It has to suit the story itself.
that's
Everything
right.
story is everything. Without the story, you have nothing
Well, that's
that's
right,
worth talking
keep
about.
the main tropes, but you can always blend in bits of other genres
Hmm,
as
that's right.
long as it actually suits the story and forwards the story in a
Hmm,
meaningful way. then it's worth it.
Yes.
And it really,
Exactly.
you know, it really makes the biggest difference.
Exactly.
Yeah. But on that note, good night, everybody. Have
And see
yourselves
you
a
next
great
week.
one,
Yep.
and we will see you next weekend.
Like
Bye bye.
and subscribe. Bye.